What's up, YouTube? It's Dragon here, and today I'm coming to you with a hero guide for Vizier Ovelis. Now, I was going through YouTube, and I noticed that there wasn't too many recent guides going too deep into his kit or his utility in the game. So I figured I'd show you guys what I learned. So here, check this out. Alright, here we have Vizier Ovelis, a Force Affinity legendary hero from the Dark Elf faction, and he's a coveted debuff extender as well as debuffer and damage dealer all in one package. He's a very useful hero in many aspects of the game, such as Clan Boss, where he's easily ranked an S tier debuff extender, which allows you a lot of flexibility in your team comps. Due to the fact that he extends debuffs, it allows you to bring less poisoners and still keep the debuff bar filled with poisons, as well as you won't necessarily need a dedicated attack down, defense down, or weaken hero, as once one of those debuffs are placed on the enemy by another hero's cooldown skill, he can extend them and keep them up on the debuff bar. He's also great for dungeons such as Magic Keep, Fire Knight, Dragon, and Golem, as long as affinity permits, and he comes with a strong dungeon aura. As far as faction wars go, he's great for the boss stages, and he's pretty strong in the other stages as well. Now let's look at his skills. His A1 is a 3-hit single target attack with a 35% chance that can be booked up to 50% chance to extend all enemy debuffs by one turn on each hit. And that's important because as a 3-hit skill, you can extend all debuffs by up to 3 turns per use of the ability. As far as his A2 goes, it's a 2-hit single target attack with a 50% chance. It can be booked up to 75% chance to place a block buff, 50% decrease attack, and 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns per hit. So you have a really good chance of placing all 3 of these, which can be a little risky in Clan Boss. As far as his A3 goes, it's a 1-hit single target attack with a debuff spread effect. It takes 2 random debuffs from the target and places them on all enemies, as well as it places a perfect veil buff on himself for 3 turns if the target is under 2 or more debuffs. And in my experience, this skill hits pretty hard. His passive places a perfect veil buff on himself for 2 turns at the start of each round and can be very helpful in them dungeon waves. And as I mentioned before, he has a strong aura that has a 34% increase to ally attack in dungeons. Can come in very handy. As far as his stats goes, the more important ones and must-haves is accuracy, as it's needed to land his debuff extensions on his A1, his debuffs on his A2, and his debuff spread effect on his A3. As far as speed goes, he has a solid base speed stat at 101 and makes it easy to build him for speed, to be a faster hero in speed teams and speed tune and counterattack teams. But at the same time, he should be one of the last heroes to attack on your team every turn, so it gives the best value out of his debuff extensions. The next one would be his sustain, HP, and defense. His HP and defense are built similarly to be balanced. Personally, I'd go HP over defense, as it can bring more value to other aspects such as, heals and things like that. And as while these ones ain't as important, they're kind of bonus stats, but since he does kind of hit hard, his attack, crit rate, and crit damage, as you see, he gets the 13% crit damage bonus at 6-star Ascended. He can hit pretty hard, so if you have the room in your build to increase those stats, it's definitely something I would suggest. As far as gear sets go, lifesteal and accuracy and speed, as well as the divine variation for speed, are all very strong sets for him. Due to the fact that he's a clan boss hero, a top tier clan boss hero, those are the sets that I would suggest. If you're for some reason not going to use him in clan boss, you could also go with a more attack damage focused build, but if you've got him, you should use him in clan boss. Alright, now let's go ahead and move over to his masteries and check out how I geared him. Alright, here we go. As I said, I went with lifesteal and accuracy, as well as an accuracy banner. and some gave him attack and HP. Now those could be all sustained, such as HP ring, HP necklace, and an accuracy banner. But I went with this loadout to try and increase his damage a little bit. The debuff extensions on Clan Boss, you kind of want to maximize his damage out. As far as his bottom artifacts go, I went defense, HP, and speed to kind of balance out his survivability. I may switch these gloves up to to HP gloves and really kind of maximize his survivability in there. Still tweaking him a little bit, but he does very well, as you'll see in a Clan Boss attack later on. As far as his masteries go, this is what I found to be optimal. Due to the fact that he's a debuff extender, you want those to proc, and you want those to extend as much as possible, as well as you want to maximize his damage in Clan Boss. So crit rate, crit damage, the vamp for sustain, and Giant Slayer are all main masteries for his build. As far as the secondary tree, you could go support or defense. I haven't tested the defense build yet, but it kind of seems like it might have some utility in certain comps and such like that. But due to the fact that accuracy is so important with him, I went support. So I got the accuracy masteries here. I got Lore of Steel, just in case that I do want to build him more for attack. He can get increase through that. But the main ones would be Sniper and Master Hexer to give him more chance to land his extension and possibly extend his extensions. I think this is a really strong mastery build for his kit, and it's pretty Clan Boss focused. But I also got Evil Eye in here for when I use him in dungeons, as he has a single target skill. It can decrease the target's turn meter up to or by 20% on the first hit that they do his A1 skill on the enemy. So that's pretty strong there by itself. So that's his overview, his gear, stats, masteries, all of that. Now let's go ahead and get into, and let me show you some of his runs in Clan Boss and dungeons. Okay, here we are at Clan Boss. I've had a little hiccup last time with my recorder, so I had to run another key here. My first one got 16.8. That was kind of low end. Vizier didn't exactly have his best run against Void. And now we're against Force, so that may bring a little extra complications as I run Altan for attack down. But the thing is even though it's off affinity, he only has to land it once, and Vizier will be able to keep it up for the remainder of the battle. So I'm still tweaking my team. I just got Vizier built up all the way and added into my team, which means I can actually take away one of my poisoners. Now I probably won't take them away because I don't have counterattack, but I'm going to sub in Steel Skull for him to add a little more sustain and survivability to my team. And even though he wouldn't apply as much poisons as a Cult Brawler, with Vizier in, I should still be able to keep up the poisons in the debuff bar pretty easily. So we're going to go ahead and give this a run. I usually run 17 to 18 million on this with this team. So let's see what we do. Now when you run an extender, it's usually a good idea to set all of your debuffs down up here in the debuff bar and give a little bit of a padding with extensions before you run on auto. But truly, if you really want to maximize your damage output, you should manual with when you have an extender on your team anyways. So I will be manualing this round, but as soon as I get the debuff bar full and get a nice little cushion of extensions, I will go ahead and skip towards the end of the battle so you can kind of see the end result. But as you can tell, Altan placed down the attack down once. Vizier is going to keep on extending it. My poisoners are going to keep throwing poisons up. And everything kind of runs pretty flawlessly. So we're just going to keep on kind of spamming their go-to skills here. I need to actually save my cleanse for the stun round. Vizier's kind of been having an off day today. He didn't do exactly great on the last one, although he did perfectly fine. My debuffs lasted till just towards the end, but um, he sure isn't proccing his extensions too much. There's a double proc. That's nice. Now, when it comes to an extender, a single proc on a non-counterattack team usually results in, the debuffs kind of leveling out. So really what you want is double procs. I think 3, 6, 9. We got room for one more debuff here. Let me see. Vizier. And we got a single proc there. Still got room for one more debuff. Alright. And I'll save my cleanse for next round. Vizier, give me some extensions. Double proc there, that's nice, that's nice. And let me see, I'm gonna count 3, 6, 9, so we need one more. There's the last debuff. Alright, from here on out, I will pretty much just need to... I did Bad L's cleanse a little early. There's a nice double proc. I'll pretty much just need to get a little padding of extensions here on these last debuffs. And then technically I could auto it, but I really want to maximize my damage. Single proc. So I will be manualing the rest. At this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and skip to the end of the video. As you can tell, we're keeping them up pretty good. And I will see you at the result page. Okay, we're here towards the end of the match. As you can tell, none of the debuffs fell off. Vizier did have a little bit of a bad RNG this round. It kind of seems how it is for everyone when they go to record. Well, there's a double proc. But all in all, Bad L's down. All in all, the match went for a good 7.5, 8 minutes, and we kept the debuffs up the entire time. It was a nice double proc. Alright. And the thing that really matters is here towards the end, having all them debuffs up, as long as this last hero can stay alive, which Call Brawler is not. It's those extra turns, they tick off extra damage. Wow, that's rough. That's a real bad run right there. But as you can tell, my poisoners, they got in pretty good damage. The rest of these apothecary didn't even get 1,000,000. Altan only got 1,000,000. So as you can tell, affinity played its part, but all in all, the debuff stayed up. I just could not, survive as long as I needed to. Hence why I'm going to put Steel Skull here, be able to keep defense up, consistently. And between Bad L and Steel Skull and Vizier, I'll be able to keep up the poisons and attack down and all of that pretty consistently through the match. At this point in time, it's all about just building sustain so I can survive longer. So even though Vizier had a bad run and my team didn't survive as long as they needed to, it was 7.5, 8 minutes. I'm gonna call this, a good solid run as far as Vizier goes. The debuff extender. So next we're gonna go take a look at a Dragon 20 run with Vizier. All right, here we are at Dragon 20. Vizier isn't in this team usually due to my roster. I'm still kind of tweaking my Dragon 20 runs. They're not as fast as I'd like them to be, but all in all, he does well here, and I will show you that between him and a single healer or a single poisoner, they can keep this dragon well under wraps towards the end. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now I will be slowing it down for his turns, so you can watch as he does his debuff spread and extensions. It doubled all the poisons across the board there. And even on dungeon runs, it makes it pretty effective. Next up will be coming his his debuffs that he lands: block buff, heal reduction, and attack down. It's pretty solid, and due to the fact that he's a clan boss built hero, he has sustain, he's got speed, and he has accuracy to land everything. So his build is also very viable. His clan boss build is also very viable for dungeons and stuff like that. Now, granted, if you are going to use him in dungeons, building him with attack, crit rate, and crit damage can be beneficial, as his A3 hits pretty hard. But at the current moment, I'm just kind of focusing on clan boss mainly, so I've got him built like that. Thank you, Altan. Bringing back Skullgirl. Much appreciated. So, all in all, he does pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and skip through this next wave and get straight into Dragon. Okay, now we're here at Dragon. And the main thing to focus on here for the Vizier highlight is the Dragon will get off his first breath and probably give us a stun. But by the time he gets around to his second breath, between Bad L and Vizier, our solo poisoner and our extender, the Dragon from then on will not be able to get off his successful breath due to the buildup of poison debuffs up here. So let's go ahead and watch. Also, he landed his, his buff block debuff and his heal reduction. We now have attack down, a couple poisons, and plenty of extensions. As you can tell, it seems to proc a little more consistently outside of clan boss. I don't exactly understand why. He has plenty of accuracy for clan boss as well, but I'm pretty sure it's just an RNG type effect. And as you can tell, he stacks them up there. As soon as Bad L throws poisons up there, then Vizier's right behind him to extend them and make sure that they don't fall off. His next breath move should be coming up here at his next turn. More poisons. More extensions. Alright, here's his next breath move. Now, even if I didn't have like Skullgirl for the higher end damage and Altan and Bad L for, actually all of them have Giant Slayer. You see, those poisons knock down that breath so quick, and the Dragon wasn't able to get off the stun Scorch move. So, kind of made the Dragon trivial. The general consensus in the population is it's with Dragon 20. It's kind of the trash waves, the dungeon waves that really make the fight last longer, or even possibly make you fail. But we got through that well, and between Vizier and my solo poisoner, they was able to handle the Dragon. Don't mind the time. I'm working on it still, but all in all, pretty good. He's effective. Vizier's even more effective in the Magic Keep and the fire and in Fire Knight, as long as affinity permits it. But definitely an effective hero inside and outside of clan boss. If depending on your roster, he might be someone that you do use outside of clan boss, but he is an auto shoe-in for clan boss for sure. He's given me the ability to kind of really work with my roster and build my team up for more sustain. And I'm very glad that I pulled him, built him, and he's definitely worth having in there. Well, that's about it for the Vizier Hero Guide. If anybody else knows any other builds or uses for Vizier, please leave them down in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe. And until next time, happy grinding, and may the shards break in your favor.